Welcome, everyone. I'm back with Chase and some 30-06 rifles for another 30-06 week presentation. Right. And what do we have here?
Today, we're going to be talking about high-tech rifles. We're talking about things that you might need to save up for just a bit, but we've got carbon fiber galore. Got some really nice rifles.
High-tech, high price, high performance.
Lightweight.
Could happen. So, we're going to start off with what? What is this thing?
This is the Sako 90 Quest.
Sako it to me.
All right. Here we go. So this one comes straight from Sako. It's obviously, we're talking bolt action rifles today. We should mention that. All three are going to be bolt action. And this one here has a very nice action that Sako is well known for, right?
Yeah, they are kind of famous for their actions. And it is a tri-lug, 3 lugs. Looks like it's got a little bit of guidance system going inside of those lugs. I'd say that was a Sako style extractor, which would be
that would have been my first guess.
But they have the double plunger ejectors. See
yes,
those 2 plungers in the face right there. Cool,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a short bolt lift. I kind of like that. Makes things quick.
Indeed. So the barrel is a 24-inch barrel. It is Cerakote stainless steel.
Slick.
But first, let me just thank Maven. Maven Optics is indeed our sponsor of this 30-06 week. They've been really good to us, sent us scopes so that we could have the same on every rifle we test.
Yeah,
they let us borrow those and just appreciate their support for everything Ron's doing and even little old me at Outdoor Empire. So yes, thanks to
Outdoor Empire, what's that?
Well, it's a very small empire at the moment, but we have big plans. At Outdoor Empire, we cover a lot of camping gear, and we do hunting gear stuff too, a lot of reviews on our website and things. But I'm not necessarily a gun expert myself, so Ron and I seem to
He is a tent expert, he's a cooler expert, he's a light, you name it in the camping world. This gentleman knows it all, been there, tests everything. He even goes to France to get camping gear to test.
Yeah. A storage unit of coolers. That's the story of my life at the moment. But
he's a cool guy.
I don't know about that. So this one has the 24-inch Cerakote stainless steel barrel. It's fluted and it's threaded, and it's cold hammer forged. So that checks a lot of boxes of a high-end barrel, does it not?
It sure does. And matching that high-end barrel is the high-end scope.
That's right.
We've been complaining a little bit about the scopes being pretty big for the rifles we've been shooting to this point, but boy, this is just about the perfect match up here.
Yeah, that's nice.
This looks like a long-range precision system. You've got the adjustable stock comb rise here, so you can match up just perfectly with your stock height. You can even adjust, I see here a nut and button. I'll bet you that's the length of pull.
Yeah,
this is for a really tall guy.
Yeah,
or a tall woman, whichever. But nice and adjustable there. Carbon fiber, right?
Indeed, it's carbon fiber. They got a coating on it that makes it really feel nice in the hand, gives you kind of a grip on it. Adjustable, of course, as we mentioned, and very ergonomic. It's got that pistol grip, that target style grip that feels really good in the hand, but it's kind of love it or hate it for some.
Look at how, I mean, talk about a Wunderhammer. This palm swell is huge on this one. Plus, there's a bit of an undercut here, so you get your hand up, your thumb webbing right in there, and then it's got a nice contoured rest for your thumb here. Really different.
I'm impressed they managed to get that level of detail in a carbon fiber stock.
Well, they can cast that any way they want, you know. They can make it just the way they want. It's not like you're carving wood and you have to keep working at it. You just cast it and off it comes, I would imagine. Now, this is the famous double push.
Yes, it's a 5-round dropout magazine. There's some aluminum and some stainless steel in there.
Yeah, you can't push it and drop it out accidentally. You have to push in on the base of the magazine, then release lever to come out.
Yes. Steel
box, aluminum bottom, pretty nice system.
While you're holding it like that, that trigger.
Yeah, adjustable.
It's an adjustable trigger. It's a single set. What does single set mean? That's what they list, but what are we even talking about?
You ever listen to football? Ready, set. Just one set. That's all I give you.
Okay, all right.
Uh-oh.
You better get it right.
This is a special feature.
Okay.
It's called, don't forget to get that bolt release Glock back down.
All righty.
Okay, got it.
Very nice. We got a safety there too, and the safety is kind of interesting. It's a 2-position safety that does lock the bolt. However, there's a caveat to that.
Bolt is locked, safety is back. Here's your caveat. little button in front of the safety switch. Push down on that and the bolt lifts.
I love that.
And your trigger is still blocked.
Yeah.
Nice. Then forward, fire.
Very nice. Should we test the poundage on that trigger?
Ooh, I think we should. What are you guessing?
Well, given the specs, which it didn't specify, I'm guessing 2.5.
2 3/4.
Oh, the price is right again, Bob, and you got it.
Well, it was closer to
You were
3.
closer, yeah. Well,
We'll split the difference.
You were the closest without going over. You win.
Yay!
This the rifle does weigh 7 pounds 6 ounces. That's of course without the scope and hardware, and it measures 44 3/4 inches end to end.
Now, just in case folks didn't hear our previous presentations with this setup, the scope and the tally rings and Picatinny rail bases come in at 2 pounds.
Right.
But this rifle had its own integral Picatinny rails, so we didn't have to add a Picatinny rail.
Yep.
So that probably saved us an ounce or two.
And that's particular to the Quest version of the Sako 90. There's the Hunter version, which while we're on that topic, let's talk about price. The Hunter version, I think, starts around $2,400 MSRP, whereas this one is $3,999.
Ooh.
So you might need to save up for a little while or wait till you get that quarterly bonus. Most of the guns today are kind of a quarterly bonus type of gun. That one you weren't expecting.
So this is quarterly bonus Monday.
The one that you weren't expecting is that you're not going to tell your partner about.
Yes. No, honey, this is the new gun. This is just parts for the old gun.
That's right. Was it? Yeah.
Well, should we shoot it and see if it groups as well as it sells for us?
Let's do. All right. Well, let's get to shooting, shall we?
Now, let's get to shooting.
Okay.
We've got the 150 grain FMJs of all things from Remington that have been shooting surprisingly well in most of our rifles. The bulk of the rifles group best with this load, believe it or not. Oh, yes. I'm going left target, upper left circle. I will aim at the bottom of that circle. Just on the lower edge. A little bit to the right.
Ooh. I like the looks of that.
Close?
Yeah, 1/2 inch.
Okay. Got to watch these front studs. It's got 2 sling studs on it that'll catch on that bag if I don't get it forward far enough.
A little bit high on that one. That one just took your group out a little bit.
Yeah, that's funny. If anything, I would have said I pulled it just a smidge to the left and low. But it actually went a little right and high, huh?
Well, that made our 1/2 inch group 1.5 inch group.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, darn.
Well, maybe it doesn't like this ammo. Rifle is clear.
Okay, we got a high of 3308, a low of 3308. You know what? I'm wondering if it only got one shot.
That can't be right. Average is 3308.
Average is 3. Yeah, I think
something didn't register.
Is it
correctly.
that sun? Maybe. Could it be that? Is the sun hitting it funny?
Yeah, it could be goofy light with that early morning crud punching in there funny. Not much we can do about it now.
Okay, we got a reading for that. Well, do you want to make any tweaks to this before we carry on, or let's
just keep going. You know, if we get one reading, we've got a rough idea. The most critical thing here is not necessarily how fast the ammo is going. We just want to get a general idea. The precision shooting is what we're up against. And I thought we had a hot one there until that last bullet did not go where we wanted it to. 165 grain trophy bonded from Federal. This is a hunting bullet. I would say that this is more of a target rifle, precision shooting rifle than a hunting rifle, but gosh, there are so many young hunters these days who like these tactical styles for hunting that I really can't say it's not. So let us test it with a hunting load. Now, since I have defiled that particular target, I've got to make an adjustment here to fully utilize this buttstock with the glide behind it. I need to come up. Puts me pretty high. And that might improve my precision shooting as well. See, this is another reason I'm not crazy about this style of stock in a hunting rifle. You've got to make all these precise little adjustments. Now, the front swivel studs aren't going to be a problem hunting generally. They sometimes get in your way when you're holding the rifle, but...
Yeah. Well, and I guess if a guy wants a bipod, that's the purpose of that.
Yeah, and that's, I think, what a lot of guys who want this stock style would be doing.
Yeah.
Is playing around with that. And this is useful, though. I do like that.
Okay.
Let's get back to shooting, and we'll discuss this after
we're
finished here. We'll see if I can't get it all set up just right and get that precision group. So I'm just sliding over one, staying up on top.
Okay.
Aiming at the bottom of that red circle.
Ooh, almost dead center. I mean, yeah, 1/4 inch right and right on the line.
See, that's the nice thing. I'm done. My hunt is over.
Yes.
Felt good.
No, that one went high, 1.5 inches high almost.
What?
Yeah.
Come on. Sako, work with me, baby.
Windage is almost spot on, but...
Yeah, I've got everything lined up just right. I've got the studs far enough in front. Everything's locked tight. Got the toe inside of the bag so it can freely slide.
Ooh, though, that one, I think you went in the same hole.
Yeah, I think that went in that top hole again, huh?
Yeah. Well, I like that.
I think you're just a smidgen over 1 inch, huh? Let's get some numbers on it.
So, folks, limit to 2 shots, and you're going to be real happy.
Yeah.
I think we only got one again. 3,300. Yeah, we only got one. That's what it says for high.
Yeah, that's not reading crop properly. 3,300. Come on. For a 165 grain bullet. Of course, you got a 24-inch barrel, but still, that's awfully high. Yesterday, we were getting highs of about 2,900 with that load in different rifles.
You think we got some
I don't know what's
interference going on? Can we adjust these at all? Or
yeah, we're having trouble with the chronographs this morning. It fell over in the wind yesterday, and it might have screwed something up. I don't know, but I was just telling Chase about this. The way the system works with these light traps is that the bullet passes over the first light with the sensor, and that sees the shadow and starts the clock. And then when the bullet passes over the next light trap, it sees the shadow and turns the clock off, and then it does the math and tells you what your velocity is. But it might be a little bit crooked now that we were playing around with it. I want to straighten it out a smidgen.
Yeah, because we were just seeing significant differences in that same load compared to the rifles we shot yesterday. Yeah,
I don't think we can promise that this 30-06 load from Federal with a 165 grain bullet is going 3,300 feet per second. I wish it were.
Which is what, 8 different from the 150s that clocked, which is also higher than what we'd seen yesterday. So
yeah, you're talking 300 Weatherby Magnum performance with that. Well, we got the data, not really, but let's go with 175s now. So you are wanting to hunt the big, tough stuff. Bears, moose, anything big and mean. You want a lot of penetration. Terminal ascent, 175 grain bullet. Ooh, that'd be a great option in the 30-06. Especially if it goes 3,300 feet per second, huh?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Get a lot of energy out of that much velocity, but as we have noted over the years, energy doesn't kill. Energy doesn't kill. Putting the bullet in the right place does. Okay, come on, chronograph, don't fail me now. Let us go down to the lower left target on this one, okay? And I will aim again at the very bottom of the circle.
Ooh, I like that. 1/2 inch right of center.
Got another bullseye. This might be one of those first shot dead eyes there. Every first shot hits exactly where you want it to. Subsequent shots, not so much, maybe. Felt good.
Yeah, that one is almost the same hole, pretty close. It's about a 1/2 inch.
Oh, cross your fingers. I think we already have a dead moose. We should really stop.
That one went a little higher to the right, but it's not bad, but I'm just not sure.
It still looks sub-MOA, doesn't it?
It's going to be real close.
Okay. See if that chrono did anything. I don't think it recorded a single thing that time.
It did not. Nope.
Just zeros all the way, huh?
Shoot.
Well, yesterday we were getting 2750, 26 out of a shorter barreled rifle, 28, 28s, 27s. Yeah, somewhere around 27 to 2750 with these loads in the other rifles. Sorry about that. Chronographs is dying on us.
Darn it.
We've got a lot of data from the previous rifles. Okay, I want to tell you something about this rifle.
Sure.
See this nice steep pistol grip?
Yeah.
Guys really love that these days. And that Wundhammer swell and the palm swell stuff. All of that gives you good lateral control. So you're not rolling rifles like this. And it's good for precision shooting on the benches and all, but it puts my knuckle so close to the back of that trigger bow that I'm getting whacked about every shot. And that is not conducive to precision shooting without flinching. Because your brain is thinking, I'm going to get my knuckle knocked again.
Yeah.
So that's why I like a more traditional, gently sloped pistol grip, because it gives me places to position my hand. And as we've mentioned before, you have a bigger hand and it gives you options of where to place it. You are pinched in here and that's it. And a guy with bigger hands, and which most guys are, bigger hands than I have, their knuckle's going to be riding on that thing. I've got about a 1/4 inch between me. So that's something I'm not crazy about.
It's not a wood stock, so you can't do anything to give yourself another eighth of an inch or 1/4 inch.
It's right there.
That is what it is with carbon.
The trigger is excellent. I like that you can just come right through this trigger bow and get down there and adjust it. You know, and I like the way they're making it safe to keep that magazine locked in there. It's not accidentally going to fall out. Looks like a good sturdy magazine. Everything functioned properly. I'm not, as I said earlier, just not crazy about this kind of thing. Because then if I'm in a position where I'm sliding my bag maybe a little bit forward like this.
Oh, yeah, I see.
Which I think I did on my first shots with that 150 grain bullet, and that may have changed my accuracy. You've got a very small area here. You've got to concentrate on keeping that in the bag.
Yep.
So that's just old Grandpa Ron complaining. But otherwise, I think we got a pretty nice group out of that last one, huh?
Yeah. No, that's...
Well, we'll get out there and measure.
I mean, it looks good. I think, you keep it to 2 shots and you're golden.
No, first shot got them every time. That's my goal.
That's true. Yeah. That's right. You know, I don't think you can complain about that too much. But
now, do you want to go out there and look at it now, or do you want to wait till we shoot the other 2?
Let's shoot the other 2. Then we'll go.
You don't want to exercise any more than you have to today.
No. It's had a big scone for breakfast.
You did yesterday, huh? What do we have here?
So this is a Weatherby M307 Adventure.
Oh, look at the stock on that baby.
Tell them about that stock. What you were telling me earlier. You called it a what?
It's the California style. This is classic Weatherby. This is cool. This is their new 307 action. So it's not an old Weatherby action. This is fully modern. It's closer to, say, Model 70 or Model 700. Okay. Remington style. I see they've got the M16 style long extractor set inside of the boat. Dual lugs. Yep. Plunger, ejector.
Fluted barrel, body on it. But the action is designed for, how shall we say it? Oh, what did they tell me? He's thinking of more of a universal application. It's always been that Weatherby made Weatherby and nobody else did. So you needed something to fit on a Weatherby, like the rings and the bases and all this stuff. You had to get it just right for the Weatherby. Whereas a lot of other rifles will use a universal fit. Sure. So your Picatinny rail is going to fit on your Christensen Arms, perhaps, or your Sako. Not necessarily that one, but several different rifles will use the same pieces. Okay. And you can also easily swap out barrels, more easily swap out barrels. Now, the big thing coming down the road here with barrel swapping, when you burn out your barrel, how do you put a new one on? They're getting pre-fit barrels, so it's more like the AR-15, where you say, I think I want to change to something different. They're getting to where you can do that now with your bolt actions. Oh, neat. So you yourself you still need a couple of specialty tools, a wrench and a vise to hold it, but you can do it without having the expertise of a gunsmith. Okay. And I think they built this 307 action to do that. Yeah. So down the road, you're going to be able to swap things out.
but they stuck with the old style. I like that. It's cool.
Yeah, it's made of walnut, but then the fore end and right here we've got some rosewood, and then those light color shims or strips in there is maple. So they really made it look and feel fancy.
Yeah, this was the style back in the 60s. White line spacers. So what Roy Weatherby did was he was a salesman, marketing genius. Really.
Okay.
And he wanted to stand apart from everyone else. So instead of making his stocks look like everyone else's of the era, he said, let's fancy it up here. Whereas my friend Dwight would say, let's tart it up.
Tart.
So he puts a white line spacers in between these parts, the grip cap, and then changes the wood to the rosewood tip or something different. And then put this incredible Monte Carlo. Look at the climb on that.
Yeah.
How come, oh my gosh. And then there's a cheek piece on it that helps keep your cheek lined up a little better. It gives you more contact area, so it reduces the slap coming up from the recoil.
Okay.
But basically, it was just this rakish angle stuff that he was making it stand out. So when you saw a Weatherby rifle in the 60s or 70s, you knew instantly what it was.
Yep.
So he's got his own advertising. Every rifle was a poster. Every rifle was a billboard.
Yep.
It's pretty smart, really.
That's smart. There you go.
Yeah. But then people got to going, I'm sick of that style. You know, it looks too garish. I don't like it. I like that they're coming back with it because it does stand out. But it's effective, too. It's not just for looks. As I told you earlier, when you've got your comb rising like this dramatically in the back, when you fire, your cheek is back here, and if you don't want it to kick up into your cheekbone, this slides underneath your cheek. So a high comb, especially if it rises in the back, then lets you recoil back and not get slapped in the face.
Okay, interesting.
Pretty sweet.
Smart.
Yeah.
Well, a few other things about this. It's got a 24-inch barrel that's got this nice graphite black Cerakote. And it's also fluted and threaded.
Boy, everybody's going to threads now,
Yep.
which makes sense. You don't ever have to take it off and put anything on, but if you want to put a brake on someday, or if you want to put a suppressor on, there you go. You're ready to go.
Yeah, and when we were zeroing these, you did mention this one felt to have a bit more recoil than those others, so maybe that'd be a benefit on a rifle like this. Something on the end.
Yep. Hinged floor plate, classic stuff. I like that.
4 rounds can go in it. It's got a Trigger Tech adjustable trigger down to 2.5 pounds.
I can see the adjustment right there.
All right.
Yep. You take your Allen screw in there and let's see what that's got.
Let's see what it actually does.
Clear.
It measures.
What are you guessing?
3.
You're going for 3, huh? You're getting smart now, aren't you? You're getting pretty close already. 3.5. 3 pounds.
Oh yes. I'm gonna take home a gift.
That could have been a fluke.
Gift certificate to Red Lobster.
Hey, take me along if you're going for lobster. I haven't caught a lobster out in the ranch now for 6 years.
Oh, I bet. Yeah.
I don't know what happened to him. Habitat's wrong. 2 3/4.
Okay.
So 2 3/4 to 3 pounds. Just about right for a hunting rifle. I love it.
All right. We've got a 2-position safety on there, and I didn't notice if it locks the bolt or not.
Nope, does not lock.
Okay.
Well, nope. Trigger's blocked, but the bolt opens. Forward, obviously the bolt opens and it fires.
Okay. So we weighed this in at 7 pounds, 10 ounces and measured it at 44.25 inch. And the price tag on that puppy is $1,799.
Well, you're paying for the wood on this baby.
Yeah, I think so.
I would say so. I'll bet you they've got models with the synthetic stocks and whatnot that are a lot less expensive than that.
Sure.
But let's see how it shoots.
Yeah.
I think this is sort of their action of the future. You know, they've got their 9-lug action, their 6-lug actions that have been around since the 60s or so.
Okay.
And now they're branching out and trying with something new. And I think probably going to float. Oh, it's got a free floated barrel too.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't note that on the Quest Sako, but I'd assume for what we're paying for these rifles, they probably all have free floated barrels, right?
Generally, that's what they go with these days.
Alrighty.
Okay. These muffs will knock 28 to 30 decibels of sound off the top end. These cartridges are probably exploding at 150 to 160. And you start getting damage from loud blasts at about 85, 90 decibels. That is, we're way up there in the hearing damage range. And one single blast can actually damage your hearing. It sort of kills some of the delicate little hair cells in your ears, according to the audiologists I've talked to. So if you can knock 30 decibels off, that is a lot. And then if you double it up the way I'm doing with foam plugs, you're really helping yourself out. I'm afraid our little chronograph is giving up the ghost or something, but we'll just shoot without knowing how fast we're going. Now here's where I don't like that Picatinny rail getting in the way of loading a magazine like this. I would not use the rail on this system. I would just go with 2 separate pieces. Okay, got a nice slide right here. I think we're good to go. We're going to stay on the top and go for, on the right target, the upper left circle.
Okay.
Make sense?
Got it.
Right at the bottom of it again. Ooh, that felt nice.
2 inch.
Right
it hit 2
there.
inches low and a ½ inch left of center.
Yeah, I'm not aiming at the center. I'm aiming at the very bottom of it.
Oh, perfect. Okay.
So I was only off from my aiming point by about 1/4 of an inch or ½ an inch.
Wow.
Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had the scope set at 10, so I'm going to dial it all the way up. Got my parallax dialed out. Yeah, that's within 1/4 inch of where I was holding.
Excellent. Ooh. That one went a little wonky. That shot.
Yeah, it went the
2
wind
inches
is
lower than the
perfect, but it went
first.
down.
Yeah.
Huh. The barrel is floating, so you can't blame it on that. And I didn't flinch.
That one split the 2. So
What's the difference?
yeah, that's probably a 2 1/4 inch group almost.
Yeah, that's not good advertisement for anybody.
Oh, darn it.
I wonder, why don't you shoot a group and see if it's me?
Oh, that
Maybe I'm
sounds
getting
risky.
punch drunk from too much shooting.
That sounds risky.
Well, I think we can afford to risk it.
Well, and we didn't get any readings on the chronograph either.
I know it. And let me try one more time on that thing. It might be that the battery is just going bad. I thought I had a new one in there. It's not suggesting that it's a low battery. So we'll do that. Try it one more time.
Okay.
You're up, Tiger.
All right. We're shooting the 165s now, yeah?
No, we're still shooting the 150s.
Okay. Oh, gonna do another group with them.
Yes.
Oh, I see what you're saying. All right.
Yeah. Just to see if it's the ammo or if the rifle or if it's the old
all
man.
right. Fair enough. And we should mention too, we cleaned these barrels, right?
Yes.
Before we used them all, we gave them a few
we
passes.
cleaned it, but then we did 2 fouling shots when we zeroed.
That's true.
So.
Yep. All right. Let me get a few in here. These are the 150s I'm working with.
Go for the top right circle, just to the right of the one I shot.
Okay.
You're in the red.
Okay, yeah. I was aiming for dead center.
Are you aiming dead center? Okay, then you're inch off from hitting exactly where you were holding.
Okay.
That's good. Now you just need to put 2 more in that same spot. Right underneath it. Good job.
All right.
Got about a 3/4 inch span between them.
I'm going to eject that one.
Straight underneath it. The windage is beautiful, but it's changing things up with the elevation.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you got 2 inch spread there. Too bad. Gosh.
Not too different from yours.
I don't think it likes that ammo.
Okay.
But help me out there, buddy. Now they can't blame me.
Well, or they can blame me.
Yeah, I tell you, they're going to have to
Depends
blame
on how
both
you
of
look
us.
at that.
Well, maybe it'll live a little better with a 165 grain bullet.
Yeah, we'll see.
All we can do is try. 165s are right here. And I think I might try holding the fore end down. Maybe that'll make a difference. A lot of guys claim it does, and I just haven't seen it. But let's try it.
So you are from dead center on that target. You're 1 left and 1 down. Not too bad. Is that where you were aiming? Was center or?
No, I aim at the top of the circle.
The top. Okay.
I don't see it through here, so tell
It's
me
on
again.
right on the black line on the lower left of the circle.
Okay. Yeah, when they land on that black line, they're hard to see.
It is, yep. Okay, so that one was probably an inch low and an inch left of where you were aiming, if you were aiming at the top center.
Yeah, I was aiming top center again.
So, yep. But that one did hit about 1.5 inches higher than the first.
No.
Yep.
I thought we were getting a one-hole group.
And that one's only about a 1/2 inch high of your first or your second shot, but it does make for about a 2-inch group.
So, once again, windage-wise, they're all in a vertical line, aren't they?
Yeah.
They're just, one's a little higher, one's a little lower. That almost sounds like a bedding issue with a barrel getting pressure. But this looks like it's beautifully floating.
Like a what issue?
A bedding issue of the barrel.
Explain that to me. I don't understand.
Well, if your barrel is pressing somewhere on the stock,
okay,
you want it to be consistent. And one of the complaints about walnut stocks over the years is that they're not consistent because they're alive or they absorb moisture and they give up moisture. Yep. So they went with floating barrels, which this one's supposed to be. But bonk, it stops right there.
Interesting.
So they've got a pressure point built in there. They usually build it with a little bit of epoxy or something. And what that pressure point does is it helps tame down the vibrations of your barrel, your oscillations, and often makes them more accurate.
Okay.
Nice thing about having that is that if you don't get consistent grouping, you've got the option of sanding it to relieve the pressure, and then you've got a fully floating barrel. And then maybe it's more accurate. So maybe that's what they're doing. I don't know. I didn't read anything in their literature. I haven't asked them or anything.
Yeah, I didn't notice either.
I just looked at the barrel itself and said, well, there's a gap between the stock and it, so it's floating. But bingo, underneath, inside, they've got that pressure point.
Interesting.
And that might be what's causing the erratic performance out there.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
now,
because it goes through there, Yep.
We're back to float land. It is just right there.
Okay, interesting.
Interesting, but it doesn't seem to be giving us the precision accuracy we want.
Yeah, not quite. Not what you'd expect.
Isn't giving us any kind of accuracy. Not doing a thing. Let it cool a little bit here, and we will go with the 175s. But I got to tell you, the horizontal spread is just, I don't think it's 1/4 inch on any of these. Yeah,
I mean, that is pretty beautiful compared to every other rifle we've shot. That's the least amount of variation in the horizontal.
Yeah, I think a little bit of work, you could get this thing shooting tight clusters, really.
Yep.
175 grain terminal ascent. We are going moose hunting.
Now, you say we're going moose hunting with that. Is that something you'd ever use for whitetail or mule deer, or is it just too much overkill?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's great for, I wouldn't choose it necessarily for those lighter animals. It's going to work, but you really don't need it.
Okay.
It's going to penetrate right through them, which I like, actually. I like to have 2 holes for blood trailing. 2 holes better than 1. But sometimes you zip right through with those kinds of bullets, and it seems like you just don't put as much trauma in the animal. And I don't fully subscribe to that theory that a lot of folks do, that you've got to have all this energy in the animal and that's what kills him. I've just never seen that to be the case. But if you've ever watched those gel blocks get shot and all they shook up,
Yep, I've seen some of that.
Shook up, an Elvis block. Well, a similar thing's going on in the animal. Its liquid in its body is being discombobulated and pushed around, and that contributes a little bit of shock factor. None of it's science.
Okay.
It's worth thinking about.
Okay.
And it just seems over the years that when I was using a little bit more fragile bullet or a frangible bullet in a deer, I either broke up or expanded a little bit more than these controlled expansion bullets, it would be a little more effective at terminating the animal more quickly. Not always, but in general.
Yeah.
But for a moose, an elk, where you might hit a big bone, big muscle group, big bears or anything like that, eland, kudu stuff, great bullet. And it would certainly do the job on the other ones, and sheep included, but I just don't think I would choose it for whitetail.
Okay.
I'd get down closer to that 165, 150 grain bullet. Okay. This little center dot in this reticle works pretty nicely when it's just on top of that. I tend to lose it in the confusion of all the lines in the middle of the red. I see it.
Yep.
Off of the barrel.
Ooh. There we go. Two real good bangers right there on top of each other.
Right there together, are they?
Yep.
Well, cross your fingers. I'm giving it a real light hold here. Put it out an inch.
Yep. That's our best group, though, on that rifle.
Yeah, it might be that this guy likes the heavier bullets.
It's still not quite in my way, but I mean, it's the best one.
So, what did you think when you shot this?
Well, I thought it was fun to shoot. You know, it feels good in the hand. I liked how that stock feels. It feels very natural. I like that there's somewhat of a downward grip, but it's not as contoured and full on pistol kind of grip like you had on that Sako, but it still has a little bit of that feel, which is nice.
I never got bit by the trigger bow on this one. Yeah, there's enough room in there to easily be no problem.
I wouldn't say the recoil was mild, but it didn't obliterate my shoulder either. So
I felt it a little more on my shoulder, which kind of surprised me, but not on my cheek at all.
Yeah, no, I didn't even notice it on my face. No.
Yeah, not a face at all. I think I could get this shooting, play around with that or find just the right load. It seems to be pretty consistent except for that elevation change.
Yep. Yeah.
How do you like the scope?
I do like the scope.
Yeah.
I'm kind of getting used to it. You know, there's a lot of lines in that reticle and stuff. And I mean, I'm not a super experienced shooter or hunter or, you know, and I think that's probably even more for the real target shooters really like that kind of stuff. But really. So I kind of prefer simple, but I do like that it's got that dot in the middle that makes it pretty clear. So that's kind of enough for me. I kind of ignore the rest, but you know, maybe it's just because I'm just not that smart. Maybe one day. Yeah.
Well, what it's trying to do is give you every option.
Right. That's good.
You've got an illuminated reticle in there. A lot of guys really like that. And it has parallax adjustment dial out here on the side. It has the dialable up and down, you know, vertical stuff. You just turn that turret and you can say, I need 2 minutes of angle for the range that I'm shooting. You dial it up 2 numbers and you're there.
Yeah.
But some guys don't like that. They prefer to use the reticle lines inside. And you've got not only the vertical reticle lines, but you've got windage reticle lines. You can pick the one that works, but it makes it busier, as you said. And then you've got to use your brain. And I always say when I'm hunting, I don't want to use my brain on technology. I want to use it on being sneaky and getting close and concentrating on that shot. So different strokes for different folks.
I kind of like the idea of a scope like this though, because it's one that you can grow into. You know, if you're not a guy that collects a ton of guns, you're going to kind of have your one main rifle that you're going to hunt with. You might target shoot with for fun sometimes. You get into this, I mean, it's not cheap. It's about $1,000, I think, this RS 1.2, but it's got a bunch of magnification. It's got that reticle. So if all I care to do today is just get the dot on the animal and shoot it, I can do that. But I also got a lot of power. I got the really clear glass. It's not an obnoxiously large objective.
Yeah,
and it's just like one that
that's nice.
You could grow into as you progress in your shooting if you get into more technical stuff.
And of course, it's versatile because you can dial it clear down to 2.5 power.
Yeah.
And then up to 15.
Yeah, that's neat. I like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if we can get that chronograph working. And then we've got some more rifles to shoot, I think.
Yeah, we got one more. We'll put that back.
Yeah. I'll go get that fixed up.
Okay.
Well, what did you bring me this time, my friend?
This is our final contestant for the day. This is a very lovely and extremely lightweight Christensen Arms Ridgeline rifle.
You know why it's so light? It's a carbon copy.
There was a joke there, and I was going to guess that sounds like something
carbon stock, carbon wrapped barrel. I don't know. Maybe the bolt's even carbon. Nope, that looks like steel.
Yeah.
Oh, look at there. Dual lug action. I like it.
Yes.
M16 style extractor, nice and long, good grip area, plunger, ejector in the face, common stuff.
It's got some fluting in it. And then we got a 24-inch barrel, but that's with the muzzle brake that comes with it. So it's actually a 22-inch barrel is what we measured, I do believe.
Yeah, for factoring your velocities, 22-inch barrel. Once it's past there, you just got a brake.
Yep, we got a brake. But course, that threading allows you lots of options there. And then it's Trigger Tech adjustable trigger. Let's talk about that.
Oh, I can see there were a little hex wrench right down in there will adjust the weight of that trigger. Trigger Tech, okay? And you're going to ask me, what is it actually breaking at, Grandpa Ron?
Is that what I sound like? Daggum.
He'll go, yeah, I think it's going to be 2.5. Well, let's check. There's 2. There's, oh my gosh. There's maybe the safety on? No. Why is it not going? Should have broke before that. Should have broken. What's the 3.5? When I was zeroing this thing, I would have said, that's not a 3.5. That was about a 3-pound trigger. Man, that is a clean trigger.
It also says you can bring it down to 2.5. So
yeah. But for a hunting rifle, I think 3.5 is just fine. I usually compromise at 3.
Okay.
But I'm not real critical on them. I've shot 2-pound triggers and I've shot 7-pound triggers. And as long as you know your trigger and learn it, obviously the lighter weight trigger, you're going to be able to be more precise.
Right.
There's a safety factor in a heavier trigger too. So
got it.
Pick.
Okay, we've got a 2-position safety on there. And does it lock the bolt?
Does not lock the bolt, but it does lock the trigger because I can't pull it.
Yeah, well, that's the important part. Yeah. And then we've got a carbon fiber composite stock. It's very lovely and very lightweight. It's got a nice smooth finish to it.
You know, I would never call a carbon fiber stock lovely.
Okay, well,
but I can't say that it's not unlovely either.
Yeah,
it is rather attractive for a carbon fiber stock.
It's us modern city-dwelling industrialist types that like that kind of the look of a warehouse.
Very industrial.
Looks like asphalt. I like it.
Right.
All right.
It won't rust though.
No, definitely won't rust. But okay. So we've got a 4-round internal hinged floor plate magazine.
Ooh, look at that. It's got Christensen written right on it.
Yeah, even that cover.
What is that made out of? That carbon fiber too? It kind of
something.
Some kind of a plastic feel to it.
Yeah.
Huh.
Neat.
That's different.
They
plastic follower or nylon.
Shed an ounce there or something.
Got a steel box inside.
Okay.
I like that. Good and solid. Okay.
But that weight we've been talking about, it comes in, it says on the website 6.3 pounds, but we weighed it at 5 pounds, 15 ounces.
It's light.
Yeah.
The scope is much too heavy for this rifle. But here's the theory, a philosophy. A lot of guys subscribe to this. Makes sense too. You get a really lightweight rifle because you want a lightweight rifle. But then you want a really top-end scope that can do all the things you want a big scope to do. You want that big scope. You save weight on the rifle. You put it in the scope. And then you still end up with your 7 or 8 pound field rifle, whatever you're shooting for.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Personally, I go for the 5-pound rifle and the 11 ounce scope. Gotcha. And I keep everything light.
Nice. I like that.
It works for me, but it's not a bad option to go with a lighter rifle and then put a heavier scope on.
I like it. So the length end to end as it is stock is 44.25 inch, and it comes in at the same MSRP price as the Weatherby at $1,799.
Okay. Well, I guess we're going to shoot it and see if this is going to win the accuracy competition.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we see something a little more interesting.
It's got a good chance because right now we don't have any stellar accuracy.
No real humdingers. I remember when we did the 308 week, I remember having a couple that just kind of really impressed us.
Yeah, we're half inch or better.
Yeah. All right, let's see how it goes.
Half rifle. That's what this thing ought to shoot. You know, we're going to try some different ammo in our final shoot-off too, I think. You can't shoot everything, guys, but you got to try some different ammo from time to time in case your particular gun just doesn't like a certain ammo, a certain bullet, etc., etc. We've still got some of these 150s. You know, the odd thing we've noticed on these tests, this really inexpensive full metal jacket stuff from Remington, which most of us would consider to be plinking ammo or practice ammo, certainly not hunting ammo because it's a full metal jacket, but it's been the most accurate in a lot of these rifles, which suggests that a lot of these are just liking that 150 grain bullet. But who knows, maybe Remington's UMC is superior in accuracy all the way around. Let's do the main red center target on the left.
Okay.
I'm going for the straight up, not holding the forend down.
All right. Were you going for dead center? Or you
Yes, sir. I was doing dead center.
Okay, so it hit 2 inches to the left, half-inch high.
Boy, is that a mild shooter. That brake really does the job.
Oh, yeah?
Sounds like it's loud out there, though.
I might have to shoot that one later.
I could feel the compression.
Okay. Not too shabby.
We're
definitely MOA right now.
On course for MOA or better?
We're on course.
Okay, Christensen, don't fail me now.
Darn it.
No.
Yes.
What? What is going on?
No, why can't we get 3 good ones?
Gosh.
Man, we keep getting 2 good ones and then 1 flyer.
What did we shoot yesterday with those inexpensive rifles? We got a couple half-inchers.
Yeah, we had 2 half-inch groups.
Savage and a Howa both shot half. And
with
these...
I think with that same load.
What?
Dang it.
Oh, it jumped off to the right?
Yeah, a couple inches even. That
is just not right. Why would it be
actually, it is right, Ron. It's to the right.
Right, yeah. Right. Well, that is not right, but it went right.
Okay.
I got you, right?
And our chronograph didn't help us out that time either.
No, the battery was not the issue on the chronograph. I think that chronograph is giving up the ghost.
Served you well?
Served me well for many years, and it wasn't very expensive. Picked it up from Brownells for under $100, if I remember. I got to get into some of these new. I'm going to be doing a series testing these new radars, I think. I want to get the Garmin, and there's a new Caldwell one out, and there's the old Lab radar, and I've never worked with any of them, and I think I need to join the modern 21st century chronograph market somehow.
Alrighty.
So what did we just shoot?
We just shot 150, so you're moving to the 165s.
I just cleaned up my 175 litter. So we're starting with a clean slate here. Ooh, I see some of these 165s in here. Now this is a trophy bonded tip. Bonded lead nose in this one, if I remember right. See if they describe it on the back. Yeah, it's a solid copper shank. Then there's a hollow up in the nose that they fill with lead, and then they bond it. So it's another one of these big bear moose deep penetration kind of bullets. A premium bullet. Okay, the only 2 left clean. We're going to go for the dead center of the big one on the right.
Okay. Okay, shot 3 inches left, or 2 inches to the left, or a little more, I guess, right on the edge of the black. But your vertical was spot on. I mean, it's on the line. That doesn't make me very happy. We're shooting pancake groups again.
I can't say that I'm screwing up here because it all feels great. It's breaking clean, very steady, not torquing it.
Well, that one split right between the 2, but yeah, shoot.
Well, I don't see. Are they all in the red?
They're all in the red.
But 2 of them are up to the right?
So, yeah, well, no, 2 of them are to the left, and then 1's up and to the right. So, I mean, your group is 3 inch. I mean, you're, like you keep telling me, your deer is dead.
Yeah, right. But with a rifle,
you're not going to be winning any competitions.
With a rifle like this, we should be winning competitions. We should be just dropping them all one on top of the other. I don't know. I'd like to say I screwed up, guys, but I didn't. It was just, I would have called every shot based on where the tiny little center dot was each time that trigger broke. I would have shot had each bullet been right on course. I would have had a 1/4 inch scoop.
Okay.
I wasn't moving more than a 1/4 MOA out there.
Okay.
So Bah, you better shoot this.
Well, you want me to shoot those same ones, or do you want to shoot the 175s and then I give it a go? Let's do that. You use a clean target, that way we keep things straight.
Okay.
And then, but I would like to, so
yeah,
let's do that.
We've got to get you to shoot it and prove me wrong or whatever. Frustrating. When you got a rifle as beautiful as this, it should be performing. Okay, 175ers again. Wouldn't it be fun if our viewers could join us and shoot, and we could see if anybody has a secret technique? And I didn't get that round in properly. I thought that when I looked at it, it looked like the nose was too far forward. That's that Picatinny rail issue again. I hate those. You just can't get your thumb in there properly. Now I got them back where they belong. Beautiful. Nothing wrong with the gun. It's that darn pick rail. Okay. Perfect.
Okay.
Just one a little left?
Yep, little left. Which is how both the last two groups started, actually. And if it's consistently inconsistent, then it'll go to the right this time.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. And again, I'd call that a perfect break. Felt just like it wants to be. When you shoot a bunch and you break a trigger, you pretty much know if you screwed up or not.
All right.
About an inch, maybe inch and an eighth.
Yeah, I mean,
triangle.
I'm kind of sad to say that's, I think, the best group that we've seen all day.
Yeah, that is kind of sad to say, given the price points of these rifles. But they've got all the bells and whistles. You liking the carbon stuff? You've got it. You got the stainless steel action. It's a good action, good slick action. I think it's well built, well designed. I just wish you would shoot better, but.
Well, in the inch, this is, while these aren't cheap rifles, there's definitely more expensive rifles. I mean, that Sako is the most expensive one we had out here, but if you're looking at kind of a mid-range or upper mid-range budget, under a couple grand, this one still gets you all the other bells and whistles of being really lightweight. Yeah. You're starting off really well there. And, it could be a good rifle to pack around the backcountry, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I would definitely.
And you're still going to hit your animal, but you might need to dial it in a little bit more if you're going to.
And, I hate to say this, but I think it's worth saying. The 30-06 is not the most popular chambering in these modern rifles. Somebody gets something like this, they're looking at a 6.5 PRC or a 7 PRC or a 7 mag or a 308 Winchester. That sounds kind of old and clunky, but for precision shooting, that's got the reputation.
Yeah.
So the ammo manufacturers really work at making accurate ammunition for those kinds of rifles.
Okay.
And those chamberings, 308s especially, 6.5 Creedmoors. So they make this, it's just a 30-06, and they chamber it, maybe not match grade chambering the way they do on these modern ones, where they're doing they're even designed for match grade. The tolerances are much smaller on the new ones. So 30-06 has been around with its standard tolerances and measurements and dimensions and stuff for both the cartridge and the chamber since 1906.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's just a 30-06.
Wow.
Run that reamer in there and clear it out and you're ready to go.
Right.
They're just not putting in I'm not saying that these folks aren't building precision rifles, but I'm just thinking maybe just because it's a 30-06, the reamers may be a little older or that's not as precise or something. I don't know. Just a guess on my part. Something to think about.
Everybody loves speculation.
Yeah, but don't speculate that the 30-06 is washed up has-been, because it's anything but. And you can build rifles. I've got and shot over the years rifles that would go 3/4 inch to even sometimes 1/2 inch in 30-06.
Okay.
So it's not like it's impossible, but that's just a wild theory I'm throwing out here.
Sure. Well, why don't we get the caliper and we go measure those groups?
We started reading. Look at that, 2772.
Hey!
See if you can get any more numbers.
And it's shaded now.
Yeah, it might be that the sun is glaring on it.
Yep.
Let's just see if we can't maybe get something.
All right, why not? Maybe it was just the sun the whole time.
Could it be?
Okay, it says the high is 2783. The low is 2772.
Yep.
And an average of 2777. Does that sound more
that's
realistic?
It. Oh, nice.
It must have been the sun.
Yep.
That's what was giving us that issue. All right.
Yeah, there's only an extreme spread of 11. That's good, because just an ammo. You know, the other issue might be that this is hunting ammo, and these things are wanting to dial in with some target loads and stuff. So I think when we do some more shooting, we're going to have to pick one of these. Based on the way this shot, I think it's going to be this Christensen Arms. It's going to go up against the, what was it, the Savage? And the
Savage
Howard
was
were
pretty,
the best of the other ones.
Yeah.
But I want to throw that one lever action in, the BLR.
Yeah, we did have a good group or two.
It got a fairly good group, and then when I was swapping scopes out between these, I noticed that it wasn't fully tight on the mount, so that may have been messing us up a little on that one.
Well, that'll be fun. That'll be our shoot off. But let's go check these targets, and then we can.
All right, we'll go measure the targets. Get back to you guys and tell you what we got. Fire one ready.
All right, I'm gonna put one in the chamber. That helps.
Always shoots better that way.
So I hear. All right. Off safe. I'm going to go for the upper left.
Upper left it is. Dead center.
Nice.
Dead center. Do two more like that.
Okay. All right, let's do it.
You're about 1.25 inches out to the upper left. 2777 on your velocity.
Okay, let's see if I can get this one a little steadier. I might have been a little wiggly on that one.
Oh, man, blew it way off.
Yeah, well, that might have been me. I didn't feel good.
Really?
Maybe I flinched. I don't know.
Yeah, you just went to a
I might have to look at the video and tell me if I flinched.
Yeah, you just pushed it to a 2.5 inch group.
Let's just count that first one. If we just take one round, does that count as a group?
Your first round group was perfect.
1/4 inch group.
I think it was a 0.308 inch group.
Nice.
That's outside edge to outside edge, though. Split that in half, that's your group.
Beautiful. Well, you know, I wasn't I guess we weren't overly impressed with the accuracy, but man, that gun is fun to shoot,
isn't it?
And it feels good.
Yeah.
I mean, I think with some practice and testing some different ammo, I could get real excited about it.
Well, listen, I want you to shoot another one.
Okay.
I want you to get excited about this Sako.
Oh, I'd love to. I'd love to shoot a gun that costs more than my Hyundai.
Yeah. See, now look out. You got to...
Okay. All right. Oh, yep.
It's very short dimension that'll fit on that bag.
Okay.
And then you have to consider
Let me just see if I'm in the...
You've got 2 studs up front.
Yeah.
So you've got to be this far forward to keep that stud off of the bag, or it's going to hook.
I'll kind of get it lined up generally on the target.
You need to be higher or lower.
Actually, if I squeeze the bag of hair, it's just perfect. Yeah, I can work with this.
Okay.
Which one did that shoot the best before? Was it also the 175s?
Well, Sakos, we got a 1 inch group out of the 175s.
Should I shoot those again, or just something else?
I bet you have to.
There we're in. I'm going to shoot for the upper right on.
That's good. Straight up.
Okay.
Just out of the red on the yellow. You're just about where I'd zero that thing for hunting. Right beside it.
Okay.
Put one more in there and we got a winner. You're under 1 inch now. Oh, you did it! Yes!
Did I? Did what?
Yes!
What did I do?
You shot our best group.
Oh, good.
Right.
Well, that felt pretty good. I gotta say, maybe contrary to your preference, I really like that grip.
Do you?
I didn't notice
knuckle bump.
I didn't notice it. If I did,
go ahead and grab it. I want to see where your knuckle rides.
Maybe I'm gripping too tight. I don't know, but it felt good.
Yeah, maybe I should have gripped tighter to shoot better. Yeah, my knuckle goes a lot closer to it than yours does.
Well,
wow.
Maybe I just have those dainty
fingers. It's a me problem. This is not ergonomic for me.
I don't know, but I like that feel, honestly. And I didn't even mess with this. Maybe I could have adjusted that in a little bit better and been even more comfortable, but I was liking how that felt.
Well, your group suggests you liked it too. So this guy is right back in the running for precision shooting. We get some new ammo in this one. Golly, I hate to even pick one of these over the other one for the finals.
Sure. Do you think Sako takes Hyundais on trade? Got a lovely 2011, looks a lot like an Easter egg.
That Easter egg Hyundai in trade for a Sako 90.
Well, that was fun. Well, so what do you got to say about this one? I mean, what are you thinking?
Oh, well, I'm thinking this has got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
A lot of potential. What it should have for that price range. And it's got all the whoopie-doo on the stock. And I don't like stocks like this for hunting, but I can understand why. They really do give you the option of making everything precisely fitting you.
Yeah.
So, bravo. I don't particularly like that. Like I said, it was a knuckle buster for me. Yeah. But that's just me. It worked out great for you. You've got adjustable trigger and everything else.
Well, and we could also say they have the Sako 90 in so many different versions with different stocks. You can change based on your budget and what you like. So, there's might be another setup that you'd like even more.
Now, we have to decide, of these three, which one are you picking for your favorite?
Well, I mean, the one I want to take is this one because I enjoyed shooting it so much. But
you shot it so well.
Honestly, though, if I'm shopping personally, the thing I would want, I'd probably be looking at buying based on the sort of budget I would work with.
Yeah.
If I were going to save up, it'd probably be this Christensen.
Yeah.
And hopefully dial in some ammo and stuff I like.
Sure.
But just for that price point, not cheap, but not the most expensive, kind of sits there in the middle and reasonable. But
we did get one just under an inch group with this.
We did.
It suggests either one of these can really do well. I'm a little surprised at the Weatherby. That just strikes me that thing should shoot beautifully.
And the windage was so tight.
Oh, it was just right down the line. So I think it's that pressure point in the barrel. I think a guy tweaked around with that. He'd probably have it shooting.
Yeah.
I can't believe you wouldn't. But we don't have time to do all that. We have to pick one of these as the winner. I'm picking this one as my winner because of my personal taste in hunting, lightweight, trim, and all the rest of it.
Okay.
This is more of a target rifle, not my thing. But boy, for accuracy, I think this one, they'd be pretty tight between the two. Yeah. Start playing around with your ammo and see what's going to really work for you.
Well, I'm encouraged. It's rare that I shoot an MOA group personally, so that's saying something.
All right, so I'm going to slit this one into the finals.
Okay.
We're going to be shooting a Christensen Arms 30-06.
Try some different ammo, see if we find some that really likes.
Right.
Well, and I think that can be said about all these, from what you keep telling me. You just got to test out different ammo, try different things, maybe tweak a thing here or there, and you can dial in any of these.
But I got to tell you,
high-end rifles.
The stock on this Weatherby, it takes me back to my teenage years when some of the old guys had those Weatherbys with those stocks. We just always went, wow, it's a Weatherby. And I know we can get that thing to shoot. But for now, we're going to pass on it and work with these two.
All right.
So those are our high-end rifles here for this part of 30-06 week. As you see, spending a ton of money doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the most accurate rifle out of the bunch, but boy, the potential is sure there. And I think when we work with some new loads and stuff, we will get these shooting consistently sub MOA, and I bet we could get it with the Weatherby. But to my thinking, the Weatherby is what you would get with this stock anyway. The 307 model Weatherby is what you would get to sort of a Lone Ranger, the return to yesteryear. With a Hi-O Silver and away rides of the Weatherby.
Yeah.
All right, we'll move on to the next round then and see who wins the overall competition. So stay tuned to our next episode on Ron Spomer Outdoors. Chase, folks can find you at
OutdoorEmpire.com, and we'll do a full write-up there too on all these rifles. So if you want to read more details and see some tables and charts and photos of our targets, just dig in a little deeper, we'll put it there.
Yep, and we're going to talk a little bit about the 30-06 and why that cartridge remains a viable option these days. Too many people are overlooking it, thinking it's an old fuddy-duddy. We'll pop up some numbers on ballistic performance compared to some other ones in our next show. So stay tuned. In the meantime, hunt honest and shoot straight.